I love the way that you've actually embraced this whole part of you and your branding message. Um, and you've taken it on board as something that's really important, and it's adding weight and value to the message that you're putting out there. So, and it's become a strength for you, I think. You've actually made it a strength of your brand. So, with all of the other women and men that you're mentoring along the way, how do you communicate that to them? How are you using that in a way that's going to empower them as well?
So part of my coaching approach and the mentoring on the one-on-ones is really to help people understand that they are unique and
Mm.
that they are an individual and that that's okay. I think from our school age, going back to that discussion earlier, we are trained to sit still, sit up straight, sit in a row, do what we can do to help the teacher manage and help the teacher coach and help the teacher do what the teacher needs to do, rather than you're an individual, let me help you. We know that everybody has different learning styles and different approaches. And so that goes through with us all the way through our careers. So I find when I start coaching people who are often in their like early 30s now, I find, because that's sort of when they realize, hang on a minute, I don't actually want to be the way I've been trained all these years to be. I want to be me. How do I do that? How do I break out of this box that society has put me into? So I spend a lot of my coaching trying to help them understand who they are as an individual, and just simply through asking them questions, because often people are doing things that actually they don't want to do. And they are in places that they don't want to be, and they're miserable. And life is too short to be doing something that you don't want to do. And so, if they want to grow their own business or they want to get into a leadership position or get onto boards or any of those sorts of things, I want to help them do that. If they're running a company and they're struggling, there are ways around that. And I often find people employ the wrong people because they're desperate and they just take anybody off the street. We spend 30 minutes to an hour interviewing somebody that we're going to work with for 38 hours a week. It's ridiculous. So I try to help people make sure that they are surrounded by people that will help them grow, that will help them expand their own opportunities and their own potential. And I think that is the direction for me to help others, because somebody invested in me when I was young, and I have the career that I have now and the opportunities that I have now because of that investment. So if I can give back to others, not for free anymore. I've done it for years and years and years for free. Now I charge a fee. I've learned that too. I've learned that we shouldn't be giving our gifts and our talents away for free, as so many of us have done. I've volunteered half my life away.
Well, unfortunately, it's often an expectation. I mean, I can't tell you how many presentations, how many things I've given away for free because it's people expect it. You're quite right in saying that you can't do that. If you've invested in yourself and you've done all the work, you've invested financially, emotionally, physically, whichever way. No, it is something that you've acquired. It's a skill you've acquired. It's an expertise that you've acquired, and you should be able to charge for it. But you're right. There are a lot of people out there who are, have got themselves in situations where they're not happy, where they know they can offer more, but they're not getting the recognition, or they're not being put in a situation where they can actually contribute or display what it is they've got to offer. And I find this a lot with women too, when I initially speak to them, and if they start working with me, the start of the work I do, we go through that whole personal branding exercise, and a lot of them are quite surprised at how other people perceive them. And that then channels them down a journey of rediscovery, where they have some incredible aha moments and like, I actually feel I could go off and do this. And I've had many women that have actually even stopped the careers they're in and have gone on to do other things because doors have been opened because of how they now present themselves as to how they used to present themselves, where they weren't being recognized, and now all of a sudden they are. And it's purely because they've changed their outlook on the way they present, and which has caused other people to change the way they view them as well. So
That's
it's
right.
quite, it's quite powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about judgment before, and sometimes we're the harshest judge of
Okay.
ourselves, and we criticize and we judge ourselves about so many things. But you know, your program helps build self-confidence as well, and which helps you in the outward, which is why people see and give more opportunities. So
Mm.
yeah, it's absolutely fabulous. It's been great for me to be working with you this year.